Welcome back, my friend. When we was a kid, we were a kid, my friends. We loved G.I. Joe. But where a problem was a problem, our old figures weren't cartoon accurate. But today, a guy called Brian Flynn realized our cartoon accurate G.I. Joe dreams. Welcome, Brian.
That's pretty funny there, Alan.
Oh, I saw you before this interview. You had a dinner, and I saw your breaking news video on your Super7 channel. And I understand with the license of G.I. Joe, you are working process in many ways: apparel, reaction, ultimates, and also we remember also the Super Cyber. So many ways for G.I. Joe. Tell me how start in general this project with G.I. Joe.
I mean, obviously, as soon as we started talking to Hasbro about things, that was one of the first things we asked about was, how do we do G.I. Joe? How do we do G.I. Joe? And it was like, G.I. Joe is a very, very, it's very special to Hasbro. So you've got to sort of wade in slowly. So we started with making some T-shirts and some glassware and some different pieces that led into the Super Cyborgs. And then that led into wanting to make figures, but it was a very sort of not just like, oh, you can make a couple figures. Like we had to really plan it out, script it out, work out everything. It had to be vetted against what they were making. It became, it took a while, but we just had to win them over with our plan. And they were very aware that that what we were trying to do was complementary to what they were trying to do. We were not trying to take away. We were trying to be additive. And so it just took a while, but it was good because we got here.
And also because once again in the G.I. Joe, when you told me last time that in July will be revealed G.I. Joe, my hope was, please cartoon accurate, because I like this philosophy. I like cartoon accurate figure. And when I saw today, and I made before a toy news for that with these ultimates, wow, because of the accessories. Because once again, we Super7 did another first time ever, because we never had before. Also for the reaction, so they are basically in the same size of the vintage one. This stuff with the cartoon accurate figure, first time ever, once again. So you got another things. It's typical of Super7 to have something different that we can find in other parts, in other brand, because it's the first time ever. How start this idea to do cartoon accurate G.I. Joe?
I think it's one of like a ton of ideas that we've had. There's so many different things that I can think of to be made in G.I. Joe. This is just seemed to be the most obvious place to start, which is something that really hasn't been done like how we're doing it. And it's complementary to a lot of the other lines that we're making. So if you're buying this, it could, your ThunderCats could sit next to your G.I. Joe. So, it wasn't terribly difficult to get there. It was like, oh yeah, that's what I want. Let's go.
Awesome. And the first wave is with 4 figures, but maybe we could consider 5 figures, because with the Snake Eyes we got also this awesome timber figure. Is a big wolf figure. So tell me what is the behind the scene of the choice of these 4 characters? Why you choose B.A.T, Duke, Snake Eyes, and the Cobra Commander?
Well, our plan is to make quite a lot of Ultimates in each wave. So in each wave, I try to have 2 Cobra figures and 2 Joe figures. So it's not an all Cobra wave or all Joe wave. And then, if you're only going to be making 2 Cobra figures to start, you have to make Cobra Commander. and you kind of have to make Snake Eyes. But then if you're talking about the cartoon, Duke's kind of the leader, so maybe we kind of got to make Duke. And then on the Cobra side, we were just sort of like, there's so many options, but we just kind of came back to like the Bat. We're gonna make Bat because Bat's just so cool. So we're gonna go with Bat to start.
And speaking of bats, I saw about the accessory. Also, the accessories, many stuff, also fun stuff like bat. I saw the short circuits effect that you can put in the figures. Also, the damaged arm. So a lot of fun. Also, speaking of Cobra Commander, I like the idea to the soft cape because, in my opinion, it's more realistic. But also the globe with the snake, the surround the globe. This is a nice idea. All start also these ideas for the accessories.
Well, this one was one of my favorites because here I gotta get it right in the frame here. But this is from the ad for the video game. So when you were reading comic books as a kid, there would be Cobra Commander holding his hand out with the globe with the snake wrapped around it as an ad for the video game, and I was always like, "That's so cool." So when we were starting to put this together, I was like, we need it. Here we go. Let's get the globe with the Cobra wrapped around it for now. So it's technically not cartoon. It's an ad for the video game.
Awesome. Do you have actually right now on your desk the prototype of the figures?
Yeah.
Can you show me?
Yeah. I mean, which one do you want to see?
Can we start with Cobra Commander because we talked right now for Cobra Commander?
Yeah, I mean, these are very fragile. They're not, real plastic. They're painted outputs. Here we go.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
I have to hold him so he doesn't.
And
how I hold him so you can see him and he doesn't fall apart, kind of thing. Since these pieces are just kind of friction held in place. And this is
also for this guy, I saw also changeable head. I believe. One changeable heads and a lot of changeable ends because I saw for each figures a lot of changeable ends.
Yeah, so you've got the figure with the silver stripe on the head, like you would have in the cartoon, and then the toy does not. So this is the toy head without the silver stripe.
Awesome. Can you show me also Duke?
Yeah, here. This is also tricky because they're just sort of pinned together. They're not really glued or anything. And then somebody will go, "Oh, that looks awful," and it's like, well, they're not really connected. Here we go.
But you capture very well the likeness from the cartoon. Who are the sculptors of these Ultimates?
This one, there's a bunch of different people that worked on a bunch of different parts of it. So it was kind of moved around between a bunch of different people.
Okay. And speaking of articulation, I will share with you my consideration in general. In general, I like your Ultimates, but every figure that you did in the past, like also with the Masters, because with the articulation, you did a good articulation, but respect also the shape of the sculpt.
Yes.
Because in my opinion, I don't care so much too much articulation, because sometimes you watch some figures and with double joints in the knee, in the elbow, they lost the shape and also the realistic stuff for the figures. So I like this philosophy. Are you still in this philosophy also with J. Joe Ultimates?
Very much so, because that's the way I prefer to design the figures. Now, definitely G.I. Joe's one of those lines that always had a lot of articulation in it. So I know that there's going to be G.I. Joe fans that would have preferred me to do it the other way. But, that's what Classified is for many ways, So we're trying to make something different than what Hasbro is making. So our versions have, single elbows and single knees, because that is the way that I think that looks the best as a toy.
Awesome. And speaking of another character that I like so much, because Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes, once again, if we have different characters with totally different color with the other version that we saw before. And I like that because finally we have this version, purple and blue characters. And was a risk. You put also Timber along Snake Eyes, but with the same price. But it looks like to have a 2-pack, this one. Tell me,
he's
this idea.
Snake Eyes gets less accessories, and instead he gets a fully articulated wolf.
And this is so cool. I saw also in your video some character that now we haven't in the Ultimates. I'm talking about of the Baroness. I saw in the, because of the reaction figure, another cartoon accurate. And this is also so cool for the people that collecting as a kid like me, the vintage one, because we have the opportunity to have it in the same size, but cartoon accurate. And maybe you can have a bigger collection because in one wave we have, I saw many characters like 2 wave at the same time for the reaction.
I'm trying to grab them. Hold on. Oh, let's see here. Here is the Baroness.
Awesome. So cool. Because once again, it's like to have in a different size, the character jump out for the screen from the cartoon. I like so much also this stuff because maybe because we know the Ultimates are a piece of art, but maybe someone having the money to get all of them. But for reaction, we have many opportunity to have a big collection of G.I. Joe with a cartoon accurate perfect. And it will be, I don't try to give you something that will be in the future, but when I saw that Baroness, Destro, and this other character, Scarlet, I wonder maybe in the future an Ultimates also for them is possible, I believe.
Oh, of course. How can you not have Baroness and Destro? Of course we'll get there. Just not wave 1.
Yes, also because another character they like is Zartan and the Mercenaries of Zartan. This type of character also should be interesting. First time ever cartoon accurate also. And we talked about the sculptor. And what is your favorite in this first wave and why?
It's hard to say, because there's a lot of things that we got to do, all the things that I wanted. I think the thing that I don't know if it's favorite, but most unexpected, so I get the most excited about, is Quinn. So Quinn is from issue 2 of the comic books. And he got a figure through Hasbro much later, but still, like, coming back and really getting into some of these characters that you don't expect, that's exciting for me. Like, I'm really happy with how this whole line turned out. They look amazing. We spent a lot of time on them. It's not to say we don't spend a lot of time on other things, but we really had to figure out a way to make sure that these felt special enough, because there were a lot of people that would have preferred these to be O-ring, which we cannot do. And so, but also then being able to say, okay, yes, you're going to get Cobra Commander, you're going to get Snake Eyes, but you don't know you're going to get Quinn. Like, that's a deep cut, just straight out of the gate, wave 1, here's Quinn.
And another first time ever, by the way, this one is another first time ever. Also, this character in this reaction.
They made a Quinn in the 30th anniversary or 25th anniversary set. So
okay.
They made one later, but much later.
Okay, but I saw also, speaking of reaction again, the army builder for both sides, Cobra and G.I. Joe, and in different way also, because you can have army builder, but not just army builder, the same figure, but figure with different details, the skin color and details also on the back.
Yeah, I mean, obviously one thing is, if you're going to have a giant army, they're not all going to be one skin color. They're going to be multiple. And 2, when you put them on the shelf, you want there to be some variety. So for that person that wants to collect them all and make an army, there are subtle variants that you can have to have a really cool group. But if you're that guy that just needs one, you can just pick which one you like. I'm not trying to force you to buy it. Like some people talk about variations where they're like, oh, they made a change, they're forcing me to buy two. I'm not forcing you to buy two. Just buy one. They're all the same. No one is rarer than the other. They're just this. But if you are that guy that does want more than one, there's some variety and fun in there for you.
And speaking of the reaction, I saw that they will be available on September. Is correct?
Yeah, September.
And they still available forever, like the other reaction, because I remember that the Transformer you can get these figures where you want. Will it be the same also for the G.I. Joe reaction?
Yeah, I mean the idea is obviously with Ultimates, it's much easier to say, hey, you have a month to order. We make as many as people order, and everybody gets one. With Reaction, we have to guess, and we have to place an order with the factory. They will be physically in hand so that you can buy them. That means I may have overordered, I may have guessed correctly, or I may have underordered. And what I've been saying in general to people is, if I've underordered, don't worry, I will go back and make more. You know, it's not my job to make it impossible for you to find this toy and frustrating. Like, we'll go back, we'll make some more. Just hold your horses and we'll get more made for you. Because, you know, it's a guessing game. How many people are going to want them? How many people are going to think they're great? How many people are going to think they're not O-ring and then therefore not going to collect them? How many people just aren't feeling it? You know, we just don't know. So we have to make educated guesses, and there's no way to guess right.
Okay. And back to the Ultimates, also in the Ultimates wave, we have an army builder, because the B.A.T android is an army builder.
Theoretically speaking, yeah, I think it's an expensive army builder, but it is an army builder. Here we go.
Awesome.
Let's see if we can. It's so hard doing this. I'm doing this backwards from where I am. So you can see like the glare on the clear chest panel over.
Very cool. Also because you can see the mechanism inside in the panel of the chest.
Yeah, here we go. There we go. So
I believe also that this is your maybe the favorite character of Super 7, because you did also 2 Super Cyborg of B.A.T.
I don't know about the favorite, but it's in there. It's in the running. It's in the running because he's such a, or I say he, but it's such a cool character. It's so much fun to play with that robot bit with it. So yeah, we've done more than a couple of them.
I saw many changeable ends for the B.A.T Ultimates. How many they are?
Well, you have the hands and you have the weapons. So there's 4 hands plus the 3 weapons that come in here, and then you have the severed hand as well. So you have the.
Awesome.
I guess it's easier to show this way so you can see the hand. But
yes, I remember that this is the arms. Also, I like the ideas to put the laser effect, the short circuits is a cool idea to give something never happened before. Have this choice to see the figures also broken, battle damage with the short circuits effects.
Yes. Cool. Yeah, definitely.
It's a cool idea. And this is a related question. When you was a kid, or when you was just a kid or a little bit younger than today, you collect also G.I. Joe, the vintage one. How start your passion for G.I. Joe?
I mean, I didn't collect it the same way I collected other things, but I had G.I. Joes. I played with G.I. Joes. I liked G.I. Joe. I really liked the cartoon as a kid. And, you know, obviously people will go, oh, well, I understand now today. The problem is I had with my G.I. Joes was the same as my Micronaut figures, is that I always broke the rubber bands, and then I had broken toys that I couldn't fix because I was, you know, a kid, so I couldn't fix them. So that always drove me crazy. The rubber bands would get loose and the figures would rattle and then they would break. And so I had a bunch of G.I. Joes, but not very many of them survived. But I also, interestingly though, I also had a lot of 12-inch G.I. Joes. When we were living overseas on an Air Force base, my mom worked at the resale shop. And so sometimes when toys would come in, when people would move, she would buy those and bring them home. So as a kid, I had several 12-inch G.I. Joes that I also played with. So I had both 12-inch G.I. Joes and 3 3/4 G.I. Joes.
Okay, so some question maybe in the last 10 minutes of our interview, I put also the questions from the fan because the people are so excited for that. There was sometimes, you remember my English sometimes become crazy.
That's all right. It's better than my Italian.
But was a good hype for that because when I did also today the toy news, when I share how to do the pre-order and a little first look for that, many people were also in the chat like, at that time because where I believe there were many speculation about. I saw your video when you talks a little bit as a comedy style as you have, and by the way, I like also you kinda sorta stay at a home Comic Con show. So I like the jazz music in that videos, and also the scene in the beginning with you with the briefcase. Sometimes become tired, and by the way, just for fun, sorta is an Italian word because in Italian sorta means sorta.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh. And here it's a shorthand for sort of. So people, instead of saying, oh, well, it's sort of like that, it's become shorthanded to sorta. So it's not actually even a real word.
Okay. In Italian, if you sort of is sorta like your short version of the words. However, back to the G.I. Joe, because if I start like that, we talk about other things. And I understand that the big hype behind this reveal for the people because maybe no one expected that. You surprised many people with these cartoon accurate ideas because in something never happened before. Many people may be thinking about me was my hope because I like cartoon accurate in general. So I collect this type of stuff. So I think only Super7 can do that, and we have right now. I have giant version 2 of the 4 guys, and I like that. I like the like. And what is the process to create a perfect likeness, like Duke, for example? What is the process behind the scene?
I mean, we spend a lot of time trying to find that fine line between there's enough detail so it feels like you expect it to, but if you put too much detail in it, then it doesn't look animated anymore because the animated figures are very flat. So finding that fine line between it having enough detail and simplifying it enough to feel like animation is always tricky. So it goes through a lot of rounds to get there. I think the other thing, quite honestly, is that, for us, we hyped it up a bit because we knew a lot of people had been waiting for this, but we spent a long time getting this product ready. It wasn't like, oh, hey, cool, we got a license, knock it out. Like, it took a long time and a lot of trust on Hasbro's side to let us do it. And that's not always the case, that somebody's willing to let another toy company use their toy line to make different versions of. So I have to say thank you to Hasbro for letting us do it and for letting us do something that, there's definitely going to be some people out there who are like, oh, I like that better. Not a lot. And that's not our goal, to create a competition. Our goal is to create an alternative to what they're doing and to support what they're doing. But it's not always the most common thing for someone to, for lack of a better description, take care of their baby for a while. So it's been a lot of fun getting to this point because as excited as I am about it, I knew that there was going to be other people that were going to be excited as well.
Awesome. And I think also in this at this time, maybe it's the best time ever for Super 7 because you got many popular licenses: Transformers, Turtles, Thundercats, Silverhawks, now G.I. Joe. And what about the Power Rangers Ultimates? Comes out a few weeks ago, another big deal, another
Yeah.
awesome figures. So you are in the best moment ever in your career. What do you think about?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. I'm just trying to have fun with what we're able to make and make some really cool stuff. There's lots of things we've never touched, but there's also a lot of work to do of just like, hey, we've got years worth of ideas planned for this stuff. Like, there's so many places and characters to be made that I'm just looking forward to, making wave 2 and making wave 3 and making wave 4 and making wave 5 and getting into a lot of crazy characters, especially on reaction side, because there's a lot more room to get into the weeds there. And there's some really cool things coming down the pipeline for that.
Yes, also because I saw once again your videos that you are scheduled many reaction, I believe, for G.I. Joe.
Yeah, there's another wave before the end of the year.
Awesome. And this wave is many characters. Maybe this wave has the size like two waves at the same time because I saw many figures. I believe if I try to recap the reaction, we have Baroness, we have Destro, we have Cobra Commander, Cobra Trooper, the other Scarlet, the green shirt trooper. I think I forgot someone because a lot of figures. How
Snake Eyes and
many?
Quinn.
Exactly. The Baroness, I forgot, I believe.
No, you got Baroness. I mean, the reaction line waves are set up as 4 Joe figures and 4 Cobra figures per wave.
I forget Queen. Queen, I forget.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 1 figure in each of those 4 will be an army builder. So it'll be 3 regular characters plus an army builder. Joe, 3 characters plus an army builder. Cobra, and that will be, so you get 8 figures a wave every wave.
Also because the Army Builder 3 version, so it looks like 3 plus 3, 6, 12.
If you count all the variations, there's 15 total figures.
15.
But in my mind, there's 8. And if you're that person that would like all those other things, we've made them available, but they're not necessary. If you want Y back versus H back on the back of the trooper, that is, we will make that, but it's not necessary. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand. I got it. And speaking of, this is a basic question, but what is the schedule after the pre-order to have the figure in hands?
They're already being tooled. We've worked on this for a while, so we're ahead of the curve on this one. The goal is to have it out in 8 months or so, hopefully even a little faster, but we will see.
Okay, perfect. And I believe that this line will be this Ultimates, and also the reaction will be popular also in Italy because in Italy the cartoon was very popular, or was popular like Master of the Universe or Transformer. I remember that. I remember when I was a kid, we tried to exchange the figures, this G.I. Joe, and I had a huge figure when I was a huge collection of G.I. Joe, but I exchanged it for some masters, but I regret after that because I had also my mother when I was a kid said, "Why you do that? You had a huge collection. You lost everything for that, for some masters and some other stuff." By the time I changed my mind. So when you are a kid, you change mind many times.
Exactly.
But they are so popular in Italy. This G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe cartoon especially. So I believe because of that this when I will do the review for that, I believe many people will be interested for that because they're interesting. And speaking of the retailers, so when the figure will be available, will be also international retailer. I know that pre-order is possible to do also for international customers.
Yeah, it should be. I'm not sure exactly who's carrying it in Italy, but there should be an Italian partner. I know Hio does a lot of our international distribution. There's a couple other people in select places. So I can't tell you the exact specifics of who, but it should be available.
In general, I got some figures from Space Figure, and also the Snake Mountain I got from them. Also, I did a partnership for them also. I did some video for them because they sent me some figures. I did some review for them. I got for them the pre-order for Snake Mountain. It's a good shop for Europe. If you live in Italy, for them you got your figures after the shipping 2 days, fast shipment. So maybe
Space Figuren in Germany. They are great partners of ours and have been around since the very first Masters wave we made, and they're really, really great.
Yes, I believe maybe also for J.J. Joe could be a good retailer also after the pre-order.
Yeah, I'd have to ask my team exactly, like who's buying what. I assume that they're on top of it, so I'm worried about making the toy. I'd let them worry about selling the toy.
Obviously. And now I start. I mean, the last few minutes before to start with the question for the fan, you know that I'm a speculation guy, so I start with my speculation for a few minutes.
Of course.
And is planned, or maybe is possible plan for J. Joe some vehicles? We know the vehicles is a difficult project to do. We remember our conversation for that. What do you think about that?
I think, we're definitely looking at it at reaction first, because unlike other lines, the vehicles are so much more a part of G.I. Joe. In many other toy lines, the vehicles are a fun little accessory. There's a couple here, a couple there, where G.I. Joe, there's vehicles everywhere. And it's so much more a part of the line. So we're trying to figure out how we get through some vehicles. We've got some plans. We've got some tricks up our sleeve for you, Alan.
Okay, finger crossed. And now I want to talk about other things related once again. When you got typical question by myself, because I'm an artist, so I'm a writer. So when I got, for example, I'm a writer, I publish many books, but every time that I got for the first time ever my prior copy for the book, I still excited for that because it's like to see in your hands. Finally, I made it.
Yes.
No? Yes. And what is now you have just a prototype, but in the prototype you can see a lot about the details. What is your reaction when you saw the first time this prototype?
No, the prototypes are great. And, same thing. I'm very excited to see them turn into real plastic and everything. And I think that's why, to a degree, this is even more exciting because they're done. They're real. They're here. They're in my hand. Like, it's not a painted output or a test shot in the wrong color or just a card back. Like the video, I only had card backs. I didn't have sealed figures. I had loose figures and card backs. They hadn't been put together. And now I have the real thing. So it's just always fun to see it come to life and to be done and to see it at the end of the tunnel, because that now that somebody else has the chance to feel what you're feeling.
Okay. And before to start for some question, the last 10 minutes, 12 minutes with the fans, I remember, guys, that you can find this figure right now from the Super7.com on pre-order, and the window of pre-order will be a month.
Yep.
Okay. So, guys, after this stream, go immediately to Super7 to get this awesome figure, because if you miss these guys, you will regret forever.
I don't know about forever, but I don't have a good follow-up to that one, Alan. You're doing great work.
Also, because we know that if you miss the pre-order in the aftermarket, the price become higher. So is the better choice. Got the pre-order, because I think you got something special, cartoon accurate, a lot of accessories never had before, and we know there will be more also for the Ultimate. So it's possible to have a big collection for these 7 inches, guys.
Yes.
So I think it's cool. There is some question for you in the last 10 minutes now.
Okay.
First of all, from Anthony Freddy, he put this question before to start a few days ago. So I can wait. Please ask if there is a chance for a surge and slaughter, and will be they get into the vehicles.
Well, obviously, we talked about vehicles already. Sergeant Slaughter is a tricky one because he is not owned. His likeness is not owned by Hasbro. So one, you have to go get his likeness, which is not impossible to do. But then you have to then run the gauntlet of whether or not Hasbro wants to approve his likeness. There may be other circumstances at play. We haven't gone there yet. Obviously, we're just getting started. That's not to say that I wouldn't like to make, I want to make Sergeant Slaughter. I want to make the Fridge. I want to make everybody. So hopefully we'll get to go there with everybody, but not yet. But it's not impossible. We've done multi-licensing like that before, like with Masters of the Universe being able to have to go get the movie rights and everything else like that. So it's very plausible to do, but it's not right away.
Also, because if you will make these figures, you got also a little bit also WWF superstars, because Sergeant Slaughter is a character, also wrestling character. So you can do two things at the same time. I know maybe because of that it's a little bit tricky, the license got this figure, this character. These are appreciation for you. I believe appreciation is good when you create something. Thank you to Super7 for making cartoon G.I. Joe reaction. The card art and figures make me feel 10 years old again. Great job.
Oh.
And I like these comments because I think this is the reason why that collecting toys, create a channel like that, create toys is important. To save the child inside of us. Because if you forget the child inside of your mind, you forget the magic of the life.
Yeah,
it's important, these things.
And there's when you're a kid, you don't have all the baggage you have as an adult, or all the other reasons or thoughts behind things. You just want to have that moment of just, oh, I am excited with no baggage. It's like when I see my children, and whatever, it's like, oh, we're gonna go swimming. It's not like, oh man, how am I my hair's gonna get wet and I'm gonna redo it. None of that happens. They're just like, yeah, swimming, what's the greatest thing ever? And you're like, that level of excitement. So that's the kind of thing sometimes for me as an adult, these are those things that do that to me again. It's like, oh man, this makes me feel young again. And I don't have baggage associated with these things. They're just good emotions altogether. And that's what we want to create. That's what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun.
And this is so cool. So it's cool, this community, because I'm also a musician. I know other community. I have another channel for Brazil, so I know other community. But the toy community is awesome because of that. Because the people like you, they create toys, has the same feelings of the people that buy your toys. So there is this connection, this chemistry between the people that buy toys and create toys. They have the same passion. We are on the same page. And this is cool. This is cool because it's authentic. I like that. I like these feelings and this passion. This one half of this question we did the answer before, but it talks also about a possible play sets.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, we're getting the figures out. We're having conversations around vehicles because they are so important. And I think that's why you see these questions come up. For G.I. Joe, more than any other toy line, the vehicles are part of the show even, and part of the toy line. So we're trying to figure it out. We're working on it. We've got some plans. They're just not right this second, but we're working on some stuff. So yes.
Awesome.
A KG, yes.
It's also because it's typical when you put out something, the people start to speculate, to imagine everything, no? But also because before to have a play set, we need to have a big collection of figures, because what you can do with a play set with other characters, no? It become silly without the character. We have the play set, but empty playset is weird. And other many, there were many questions, but we answer also that because it talks about William Perry figure. I believe the same situation of Surgeon's Ladder, I believe, not?
Yeah. Same thing. The fridge, William Perry.
The fridge, by the way, another wrestling also related card because this is just for fun. WrestleMania 2 Battle Royal, William the Refrigerator, William Perry was a part of the Battle Royal. Battle Royal that was the winner was Andre the Giant, another Ultimates figure by Super7. It's a circle.
Exactly. That's what we're working on. We're working on this circle here.
There is another comments. We are about other 4 minutes. Of course, we all want the core character first. Will be possible to eventually make G.I. Joe animated movie fix reaction ultimates?
We're definitely looking at everything. As evidenced by Quinn in the reaction line. Yeah, we're going to talk about the cartoon. We're going to talk about the comic books. We're going to talk about the movie. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to go in every nook and cranny that we can.
The sky is the limit almost.
Yes, definitely.
By my opinion, I think this is just my opinion. I like that we have many possibilities, but I prefer before complete my cartoon equity collection. Because if you start to do many different DJ type of G.I. Joe, I need to wait a lot to complete my collection of cartoon equity. But because I like this, so I'm very happy that you start with this way, this side of G.I. Joe, because the type that I love. And so it's cool. I believe it is the reason why many people love that, because we have something new, something special. And so once again, it's the reason why I support SuperShow with my videos, because we can get something that never happened before. And this is important, because sometimes in the web, you find some complaining people and complain for that and complain for that. I think it's not a good way to collecting something. Complain that. Imagine what do you missing until now, and now you get something different. Because I don't understand, maybe because in my opinion, but I don't care so much for articulation. I care to have something different, never happened before. So, in my opinion, the ultimate style is perfect to do something special, and G.I. Joe Cartoon Accurate is the big deal for that. What do you think?
It's that same thing we've talked about before, I think, where it's like, everybody has their version that they want. And and that's the version that's right in their head. And if that's not the version I make, then it's like, it's almost worse because it's so close, but not there. And, but I can't make everything for everyone. I can't make everyone happy. So I'm trying my best to make the best versions that I know how to make. And hopefully there are people that like that version. And for the people that I'm not making the best version for, hopefully there's something else that somebody is making for them.
Perfect. Okay, final question, because we are close to 45 minutes, because we are like in a wrestling match. You remember our thinker says, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute style limits.
Yeah, exactly.
So this interview, ladies and gentlemen, is scheduled for one interview for G.I. Joe with a 45 time limits. And so what do you think about G.I. Joe? But in general, we know the play set is tricky to do, is expensive, is a big price. But maybe create some diorama pieces to put together, maybe some points or along with some figures to create maybe a diorama with many pieces along with some figures, like a build-up diorama. What do you think about that?
I think there's a lot of different things that we're talking about. There's a lot of things that have been made for G.I. Joe. There's also a lot of things that have never been made. The first thing is to understand how many people care, which is the sort of, it's launching today. And then the figures launch in September for reaction. Then I'll have a much better idea of how many people are actually buying it, how many people are really interested, and what the size of it is. And then it helps me understand better how many I think I could sell of a vehicle or a play set or different things, how and what those things might cost. Because if I can only make a few, I might have to make it differently than if I can make a lot. So all those things we're figuring out still.
Okay. And now I go to the piano, my friends. Guys, now if you watch the old cartoon of G.I. Joe, you can wonder that we have actually a cartoon accurate figure created by Super7 and Brian Flynn.
There you go.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, guys. And don't forget, right now, go immediately to Super7 website to purchase, to make your pre-order for the awesome figure, to don't regret this stuff forever, because later will be a huge price on aftermarket. Don't do that. Don't do that, guys. Thanks for watching, my friends. Thank you, Brian, to come back.
Of course.
And so long, everybody. Good night to everyone.